Grace and peace, everybody. We are back. Happy Monday morning to y'all. Hopefully, you had a wonderful weekend, a beautiful Lord's Day, and you are ready for another great week. I have, as you can probably ascertain, we've done some changes here in Studio Whitaker Park, and I'm actually just testing it out to make sure everything works right. I feel like it looks pretty good. This camera right here has always been super light. I don't know why. I don't know why. It seems that the color is not the same. Anyway, hopefully I sound okay though. That's the most important thing. Shout out to everybody that has jumped into the best live chat on the internet. Good to see you. Good morning to you all. And I'm going to go over a little lay of the land for the week and moving forward, at least until like sometime in March. Just give me a little lay of the land, let you know what to expect over here from Whitaker Park, because we are always trying to constantly improve. So shout out to you, Drexel. Thank you so much for popping in. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Greetings from Orlando, Florida. The great warm. Hey, it's going to be warm here in Georgia today. So shout out to I think the winter has passed. I think it's fair to say. But it's always February. It's always February that tricks us here in Georgia. So hopefully everybody's doing well, and you're hopefully the Groundhog Day, whatever the groundhog saw, which I forgot about that, by the way, hopefully is something that you wanted. So shout out to everybody who's jumped into the live chat and has popped in. So first of all, I just want to do a quick check and make sure that the audio sounds okay. It sounds good to me on my ears, but I just want to see if there's any problems on your end. I think it's okay. I did some tests yesterday and found out that some of the music that I play in the background is not as quiet as I thought. On my end, it sounds perfect in my ears. So when we were doing the studio remastering, I tried editing, fiddling around with it, and I realized that the music, like when I play this, it sounds fine in my ears. Sounds proper volume, everything's fine. But apparently it's not the best in your ears. And I was testing it out and actually got on a friend's phone and listened to it. And I was like, oh no. I mean, watched a test stream. I'm like, oh no, it's a little bit louder than I thought. So we're gonna probably stop doing that. We'll probably stop doing that. Every now and then I still will talk to this camera though, because hey, why not? Why not do that? But I'll probably cut the music part out. I also realized that the sound effects, when I roll in and drop some of these sound effects, I'm not going to do it because I did not realize how loud they were either. So unless there's some way, like when I do the what sound effect, oh my gosh, there's no way for me to change its volume. So it just comes in like a monster. Like, oh my gosh. Some of them are good. And so what I think I'm going to have to do is probably take all the sound effects out, change their audio profile to like super low. So then when I load it back in, if it's still high in StreamYard, it'll be high, but I guess maybe a little bit more conducive. Oh yeah, and by the way, we got I forgot the reactions. I don't see a lot of people using those. So anyway, shout out to y'all. Hey, Deb, how are you? Good to see you. I see Ben up in the building. Ben is a fan favorite. Shout out to Christy over here. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, so those are some changes I'm gonna be making. I'm probably gonna cut out the sound effects, and I'll just let editor Mark put them in after the fact. And So shout out to y'all. Thank you so much. I have a funny story, but in order for the story to in order for it to work, I'm going to show you this little item here. All right. And I'm going to ask you, what is it? On the community post on my channel, on my community post, I have 4 options. Is it a toolkit, a pen case, an umbrella, or an eyeglass case? So I'm going to show you this again. I want you to check this out. Look at it. What do you think this is? Okay. And we will, I really want you to Make sure you answer in the comment on the community post. I think you'll find it humorous. So, by the way, I just realized Graham Allen is going live. Why not pop in?
We're getting X is down. Unfortunate timing given today's show.
Hey, Greenhearts and Chat, you can hear.
Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. Friday afternoon, many of you know that I have been a very outspoken person against Candace Owens and what she's doing, not only to Charlie, to his legacy, to his children, but even more especially so to Erica, his widow. I believe her intentions to be non-pure. I believe her reasonings to be evil. I believe that she's suffering from some type of mental break, possibly even demonic oppression of some sorts. But anyway, Friday afternoon, conveniently, I would say, because she's going on this break this week, to make another hit piece documentary on Erica Kirk, she decided to take things up a notch with me publicly. And she made several horrific, ghastly accusations about me. And these accusations not only affect me and my reputation and my character, it affects my family, it affects my children. And that simply cannot stand. So I did a lot of praying about it. I did a lot of thinking about it. And the only way to do this is to confront it head on. And the only way to do this is to say that it is time. X is back up, apparently. Just got a message that it is time to tell the truth about Candace Owens. It's time to no longer beat around the bush. It's time to tell the truth. Everything that I know. There's going to be a lot of you today that watch this episode, that many of you are finding out who I am for the first time due to what Candace did and her bringing me into these slanderous accusations and all this, and that's fine. So we're going to walk you through not only the accusations, we're going to walk you through how I've known Candace for over a decade. And I know the truth about everything behind closed doors that we're never actually supposed to have said about Candace Owens, and I'm over it. And it's time that people know the truth. And it also is not lost on me that the Canaanites, the cult followers of Candace Owens, nothing I say is going to change your mind. And that's fine. Why am I doing this? Because there's a lot of people that I have shared the stage with, that I have fought for this country and our faith for a decade, that have remained silent. While Erica is attacked, while Charlie's children are attacked, while this woman tries to single-handedly tear down everything that my friend Charlie stood for, you remain silent in cowardice. And that's okay, I understand. Because as we'll show the audience here in a minute, this is why you're afraid. And maybe some of you have skeletons that you don't want Candace Owens to find out about. Okay, fine. If I got to take the bullets, I will. If this ends my career, then so be it. But if it sparks others to start combating her obvious vindictive, evil agenda and her obvious lies, then it was well worth it. I need every single one of you to do me a favor and hit that like button right now. The more you hit the like button, the more people will see this. Comment in the comment section right now. Do you stand with Candace? And that's fine. You can put yes or no in the comment section. I'm sure we'll have a lot of Candace fans in this episode today, and that's fine. But we have a lot of stuff to talk about and not very long to do it. So I want to thank our sponsors, Black Rifle Coffee. We wouldn't be able to do this show without you guys. So I want to thank you for sponsoring this show. Everybody, please go to blackriflecoffee.com right now and go support them. Again, we have a lot of stuff to talk about, a very short time to do it. This episode is going to be a little bit different because I don't want to expose him to the backlash that's probably going to come from this. But he has something he wants to say before we get going. So, ladies and gentlemen, everybody's favorite redneck, Hot Seat Todd, is here.
What's up, everybody? Yeah, and Graham, let me just first say that I do appreciate, even though I'm not worried about any kind of backlash from this Peckerwood and her little people, I could care less. Everything about me that's bad, everybody knows anyway. Live in a small town. But to Candace and to the Canaanites and Candyland and everybody involved with this particular topic about coming after Graham and saying the things that you have said, I'm just going to tell you like I used to tell my children, Candace, spit it out. Okay, spit it out. This is not the bowl you want to stick your face in. This ain't the meal that you want to take a bite out of. You need to spit it out. You have literally become everything about the left that you've hated for so long and that I hate. You change the narrative. You have millions of theories without any facts behind it. And anybody, and now more so, anybody that confronts you, that asks you questions, that asks for proof, now you're throwing around pedophilia like you're calling somebody an asshole. Like that's the same thing. All right, that's not okay. And I'm not going to stand up here and defend Graham about being a pedophile or not. That's stupid. Okay, you said it because you want clicks. And you are to Catholicism as I am to being a Sunni or a Shiite. All right. That is the thing. You are not a Christian. Christians don't do this. You're not a Catholic. Catholics don't do this. You are an evil demon. And I hope for the rest of the show that Graham treats you as such. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go to me for the rest of the show. I apologize about that. X is back up. We were putting the link for her Canaanites to be able to come in here and say what they have to say. So one thing I want to start off with before we talk about what happened, and then I want to address those head on. I want to talk about some things that happened yesterday. Yesterday, I made an announcement on X that I would be addressing everything. And I got more phone calls, more text messages, more calls from members of the administration, more calls from people in high positions that everybody that you would think of. I got calls from pastors, high profile, and literally people wanting to pray for me over the phone. And although I will always welcome prayer, I want you guys to realize that's the level of which Candace Owens and her evilness has reached. To a point that if someone wants to stand up to Candace and her horrible, evil, vindictive attacks against Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow, and even Charlie's kids, pastors feel led to pray for me before I even do my show, which I do daily.
That's crazy.
Does that seem normal to you? Does that seem like a simple thing that everybody does that, No, it shows you that this has reached a level no one can comprehend. So I want to say a couple Bible verses before we start this. Proverbs 68:5. Father to the fatherless, defender of the widows. This is God in his holy dwelling. Everybody keeps asking why I stand so firm in this. Well, because I believe the Bible to be true. And the Bible is very specific about the treatment of widows, about the treatment of orphans. Exodus 22 through 24. Do not take advantage of the widow or the fatherless. If you do, and they cry out to me, I will certainly hear their cry. And then James 3:14 through 16. But if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth. This is not the wisdom that comes down from above, but is earthly, unspiritual, and demonic. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. Candace Owens, As I move forward in this, I want to say that above anything and everything, I truly mean it when I say, I'm praying for your soul. I make a joke sometimes when I say I wouldn't want to be the person standing in line behind Candace Owens at the pearly gate. But I honestly say this when I say, I'm praying for your soul, Candace, because we go way back. And we'll go there. I've got a book here that I wrote. And no, it's not a pitch for the book. I don't want you to go buy this book. This is my first book. I've written one since then. I've got another one coming out in September. That's not the point. The point is, on the back of books, you have these things called blurbs. And this book came out in 2020, and I just want to read you something here. And it says, Graham Allen is an inspiring voice amongst a generation that has been misguided by the far left ideologies. He is a patriot, a husband, a father, and most importantly, a fighter that I am glad to call a personal friend. America 316 accomplishes exactly what Graham's speciality is, and that's reaching real America. Candace Owens. So for the new people in the audience watching this for the first time that you've never heard of me before, that's fine. But I want to paint a picture here of how far back me and Candace go. So I'm going to show you a couple pictures really quick, and then we're going to get into her allegations online. I'm going to address them head on, and then I'm going to tell you the truth about Candace. All right, so we've got some photos here that I just want to show you because there's a lot of people that will watch this. This will get edited, and this will be clipped. And this will be done. And we'll probably go back to this photo a little later, but this shows how far back in the day me and Charlie and Brandon Tatum go. In fact, this next one is a photo of me, Charlie, Brandon Tatum, Benny Johnson, all sitting together at a table before we all blew up to an extent that you know us now. I think we've got that one, Todd. If we can do that, we need to switch to the one of me and all of us sitting at the table. There you go. This was way back in the day. We all knew each other across the board. Now, Candace, me and Candace have known each other for a long time. This photo is back in the 3 Barstool days of the campus tours. There's Charlie, there's me, there's Candace. Back in the day when these tours weren't as popular as they are today, we were sitting in bar stools together and we were fighting this fight alongside each other. Here's some more pictures of Candace Owens with some of my children, with my wife. There's Candace, me, and my wife with my daughter. Here's another one of me and Candace and my wife. And then here's one of me, Charlie, Erica, and my wife together. So when I say all of these things that I've known Candace Owens for well over a decade.
Dang, he brought
I'm
receipts.
telling you the truth. And when I say that Candace Owens is not who you think that she is, that's what I mean. But let's go to what happened, because there's a lot of you here on Rumble. There's a lot of you that are probably confused to an extent of what happened and actually went on. So let's start off with playing the video that started this escalation. Now, the main purpose of this video was to say why I continue to defend Erica Kirk. And it was also to call out those that have been cowardice and not. I think we got to go to TikTok because I think X is still down. I think X went back down again. But here is the video. And I want to play the video in its context so you can see how Candace Owens' attack doesn't make any sense. Here's the video that started it all. Here we go. Everybody always goes, oh, Graham, why Candace Owens? Why? Because she's still doing it and she's still crossing the line with my friend's widow. And maybe you're the type of person that you will allow a friend of yours, their widow, if they were to pass away. Maybe you're the type of person that will not protect that widow. Maybe you're the type of person that would just move on. I'm not. I am not getting to heaven in the pearly gates and Jesus look at me and go, why didn't you stand up there? Not happening. Not happening to me. Another thing I want to say to all of you friends of Charlie out there, that have microphones just like I have, that came up with Charlie. Many of you I stood on stage with for many, many, many years. Where are you? Why aren't you saying anything? Why are you tiptoeing the lines to not make Candace Owens's audience mad at you, and or worse, Candace herself being mad at you? Perhaps you have skeletons in your closet. I don't know. But I want you to know that I respect none of you. And I will never, ever look at any of you the same again. Graham, who are you talking about? It's really easy to find. Look for any of the people that do what I do that are not absolutely 100% calling out Candace Owens. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about every
All right, you can pause it, Todd.
one of them. You don't have, okay, so if you agree with that video and that statement, just give me some American flags in the comment section now or hit the like button. That was the main purpose of that video. In fact, I would argue it was more of a direct attack on those that were being cowardice in the face of Candace Owens' attacks. Now, because X is down, we had to take a screenshot of what Candace Owens said. She said two things on Friday afternoon, and I want to address them. The worst one is obviously the one calling me a pedophile. So again, this is in response to the video you just saw. And Candace Owens' response is, keep your young kids away from Graham Allen. No joke. My belief is that no man is capable of defending stuff like this that isn't himself perverted. But yet you defended Andrew Tate.
Wow.
But yet you literally had Harvey Weinstein on your show. But also, that right there is why so many big name people are afraid to call out Candace Owens. Because the truth of the matter is, there is no depth that is low enough that she will not go. I make a video saying I'm going to stand up for a widow and the orphans of Charlie Kirk, and I call out the cowards that were supposed friends of Charlie that are saying nothing. And Candace's response is, Graham Allen is a pedophile. No facts, no evidence, no nothing. In fact, I would argue to say that most people know that we're an adoptive family. So I've had my entire life ripped apart through investigations and everything, because any of you who have adopted a child, you know you can't just show up. So I would say that my background is cleaner than Candace Owens ever has been. In fact, I also hold a highest level top secret security clearance you possibly can have. My past and my background has been looked at every single stone. Can you say the same thing, Candace Owens? So to that accusation that is just not only slanderous, defaming, and libel, I simply say, are you sure about that? Because for you to make a statement like that, you better have something to back it up and prove it. My life, through adoption, through working with the Pentagon, everything has been torn apart, upside down through lawyers, investigators, everything. My record is clean. Worst thing that's ever happened to me is a speeding ticket in my life.
Let's go.
So I'm an open book in that regard. Go ahead, look. Have your Canaanites go look and try to find whatever. But this is yet another example of Candace Owens taking the extreme character assassination. This is the new Nazi. Calling people a pedophile is the new calling people Nazis. If people disagree with what you're saying, by Candace's very definition, I'm just asking questions. Well, anyone who asks questions about the person asking the questions is a traitor, and they're a pedophile. That's the new thing of the left. Because that's what I also want to bring up the fact through the rest of this is Candace Owens has been and always will be a raging leftist that has been a wolf in sheep's clothing for over a decade.
That's point. Let's go.
The only difference you're seeing now is that now it's more money for her and more opportunity for her to let her inner leftist out. She also makes this allegation about me being on PragerU's payroll. You can see it here. His God is money. He is on the payroll of PragerU to influence people. Well, this is very interesting because you can look at PragerU's tax filings. They're a charity organization, so you can see every dollar of everything that goes out from PragerU. You won't find Graham Allen's name, but what you will find is Candace Owens' name. In fact, didn't they pay you hundreds of thousands of dollars?
Come on.
Because that's where your show got its start, correct? PragerU? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty positive that the only person in this conversation who's been on PragerU's payroll, as if that's this bad thing, but you think it is, so let's talk about it. The only person who's been on PragerU's payroll is you. Is you. You are the only one.
Come on.
This is what Candace Owens does. She manufactures outrage. She manufactures rage. She manufactures character assassination because that's what she does. So those are the responses to the allegations. But now I feel that it is time to just tell the truth. Right? That's what Candace Owens says all the time. It's time to tell the truth. It's time to let the cat out of the bag. And here's the truth that no one has ever wanted to say for the entirety of the past decade. And that is Candace Owens this is the biggest kept secret inside the conservative movement. Candace Owens has been the biggest thorn in the side, diva, absolute nightmare wrecking ball to the entire conservative movement behind the scenes for the past decade. That's the truth. That's the truth. Anyone who's not on record in front of a camera, they'll tell you the truth. Every single person that has ever worked with Candace Owens that's not still being paid by Candace Owens or has an NDA with Candace Owens, they can't stand her. She's horrible. Treats people badly. She doesn't fulfill her commitments. All of it. In fact, let's start with the first thing. Turning Point USA, back in 2017, when she was like the thing for Turning Point USA. All right, let's go back to that photo I was referencing, Todd. This was at Arizona State University. And this was my very first campus event with Turning Point. Talking to the crowd, they get to ask us these questions, blah, blah, blah. Well, what's known in the background is Candace was notorious for just disappearing and not showing up when she was supposed to show up. She would just disappear, not show up. In fact, if you look in the back there, you see the sign, and the sign actually says Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens. You see, at the time I was told that it was because Candace was sick. This was them running cover for Candace. But since then, I've learned that that's actually not the truth. The truth is this was just par for the course of Candace Owens to just negate her obligations to Turning Point USA, the very organization that you would not know who Candace Owens is right now if it were not for Turning Point. It's also known, again, the other biggest kept secrets out there is Candace Owens has morphed into everything that she feels she needs to be to make the most money that she can while she can do it. Everyone that has ever known Candace Owens, you see Jeremy Boring talking about this, everybody knows that Candace Owens cares about two things. And really the divide between the first one and the second one is pretty big. 1 and 2. Number 1 is money. Candace Owens cares about money and money alone. You see, oftentimes when people accuse people of something, like she said, my God is money, that's normally projection of themselves. Again, Candace, I have said this on the show multiple times. I'm willing to show you my bank account if you're willing to show me yours. And what I can promise you is your bank account is far larger than mine. So for my God being money, I disagree. And many of you will comment and you'll say, Graham, this was horrible. All her Canaanites will come to her defense and be like, you should have talked to her in private about this. The truth is I tried on multiple occasions. I text Candace Owens on the phone number I had for her. I wrote her DMs. And then when I thought, well, maybe she changed her number, I reached out to Brandon Tatum. And I said, Brandon, can you please deliver this message to Candace directly for me? I just want to talk. I want to find out what's going on. He told me that he would. I believe he did. And she did nothing. She doesn't want to talk to me because I'm not big enough to talk to her, and or she knows that I am a contrarian to her beliefs. So therefore she goes on the Hodge Twins podcast because that's a layup interview. Let's talk about her and Charlie's relationship. It is also known by everyone that the thing that gave Charlie literal ulcers from anxiety and worry was Candace Owens. It is known by everyone inside that whenever Candace would come up, Candace is calling, she wants something, or she wants to talk about something, or she wants to come this, she wants to come that. Charlie would be riddled with such anxiety that other people would have to talk to Candace for Charlie because Charlie knew what Candace actually was. It's like that scene from Halloween. I don't know how many of you have seen that, but there's this scene with Dr. Loomis, and he's talking about Michael Myers, and he's talking about the fact the first several years he spent trying to reach Michael Myers, and then the next 10 years he tried to keep him locked up because he saw that what was behind those eyes was nothing but pure evil. I believe that the same thing happened to Charlie behind closed doors with Candace Owens. Charlie at some point saw what was behind Candace Owens' eyes. And all he wanted to do was figure out a way to appease her enough to not have her turn against Turning Point, because you're seeing what happens when Candace Owens decides she wants to destroy something, somebody, someone, some movement, whatever it may be. Charlie lived in fear of Candace. Not because he didn't believe that he could defeat her, but we had elections to win, and it looked best to look as a united front in front of the world so we could win this elections. And he knew of what she was capable of doing if he did not. That's the truth. That is the truth among everything. Charlie grew to a point where he could not stand her. And in fact, if you look at Candace's history, this is par for the course of Candace. In fact, it's deleted now, but in January of 2016, this is the article seen around the world that most people had trouble finding because since then the website's been deleted. But this is less than a year before Charlie and Candace met. Now, this really is Candace Owens. It even says at Candace_Amber, which if you know anything about Candace, you know that's her middle name. And it's an article written January 6th of 2016. I think affairs are romantic. Let's just read a little bit of this, shall we? And I know this is going to piss a lot of people off because cheating is awful, because millions of families are torn apart year after year because therapy, because counseling, that's why. I mean, even without the promise of marriage, the devastation it causes on even the most basic levels of dating is unthinkable, horrible. But I think affairs are romantic. I've an admittedly twisted mind. It's never swam along with the masses. Where the world sees black lines, I am blinded by colors and shapes, wonderful patterns, daring zigzags, lyrical neons. We hear that someone has had an affair and the world cries out, quote, tragedy, but I, sweet comedy. Humor found not in collateral damage of tears, but in our inescapable humanity. I laugh with the universe as it silently mocks our institutions, marriage, dating, and other associated obligations, structured lines, make-believe lines, rendered powerless by our inevitable chaos, by the one look and then lust, the one sentence and the fall. And falling is falling after all. It's a descent and then a crash without intent, purpose, or control. Nobody falls on purpose. It's fatal misstep and then gravity at risk to both yourself and others. Nice little thing here. We won't read anymore, but that's Candace Owens a mere 1 year before she met Charlie Kirk. Again, I say, my point to you today is Candace Owens has always been a leftist. She's been a leftist for the past 10 years, and now it's becoming cooler for her to admit her leftist tendencies. You see, I know for a fact of how Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens actually met. You see, very shortly after that article, Candace Owens sees, it's not really getting a lot of traction. It's not really taking off. Then this mythical thing started happening where here comes the mythical unicorn idea of the black conservative. Now we have a real moneymaker. Candace then changes her YouTube to Red Pill Black. She starts making YouTube. In fact, I was first introduced to Candace via text message of Chad Prather while I was in New York going on a Fox News hit. Candace was just starting. And to her and Charlie's own verbal admission in front of thousands of people at Turning Point USA's Winter Gala events, the very same one that she mocked Turning Point for doing this year, Charlie Kirk would tell the story of how they met, and Candace would agree that somewhere in that January of 2016 to 2017, when they met, Candace has this radical transformation. She becomes a black conservative, and she approaches Charlie Kirk at an event saying, "Hi, I'm Candace Owens, and I want to free the minds of black America from the Democrat plantation." Now, I don't know if that was a scripted thing between Candace and Charlie to say, because man, is the PR of that great, but that's what they did. And for someone who says certain things are so weird all the time about how Erica and Charlie met, isn't that a little weird that Candace Owens inserted herself into Charlie Kirk's life and not the other way around? Or at least that's the public story of which Charlie and Candace both told everyone. And I do not believe Charlie to be a liar. It's a little weird if you ask me. Then she goes on to be Turning Point and blah, 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 and she can't get her story straight. In fact, can we find the clips, Todd, where she says one time she left because Charlie lied to her, and then the other time she was actually fired? It's the segment with the dual videos on it. Whenever you have that ready, let's pull that up, because we can't even get the story straight on why she left Turning Point USA, even though everybody within Turning Point USA knows why she left. No one could stand her. But let's listen to what she has to say. So let's click the one on the right first. This is from her podcast where she says the reason she left Turning Point USA is because Charlie lied to her about money. Let's click the one on the right, Todd, if it'll play.
I was resigning from my position. As the communications director of Turning Point USA. Now, there has been a lot of public speculation as to what led to that decision. The media ran with it was anti-Semitism or some disagreement about Kanye West, but that wasn't true. None of that was true. The truth, and I think that you very well know what the truth is, because you were around for it, is that Charlie and I had a disagreement, which fractured my trust in him. He did something that he had never done before. He lied to my face about money. Now, in retrospect, I believe that the manner in which I discovered the lie might have
Pause.
been
That's
by
it. That's all we
design, but
need. Candace says on her show that she resigned because Charlie broke her trust and he lied to her about money. But then she goes on the Hodge Twins podcast and she says that she was, quote, gotten rid of. Let's play that.
to understand, like, when you do deals with Satan, like, he's not the creator. He is constantly trying to rebel against the creator, so he can't create. And so when these people get rid of people that are good and godly, Charlie got rid of me because I said, yeah, I know you can't just mass murder kids. Jennifer is always wrong.
Charlie got rid of me because you just can't mass murder kids. So which one is it? Were you fired or were you let go? We all know the truth. You were fired. Just like you were let go from PragerU. So let's talk about other things that are weird. Erica wants to talk about the weirdness, or excuse me, Candace wants to talk about the weirdness between Erica and Charlie's love story, but yet no one calls out the fact of the weirdness between her and George Farmer's love story. So let's look at this interesting video right here. First of all, this is the PragerU set. The very company that Candace says I'm on the payroll for to attack her, chick, you worked for PragerU. They paid you hundreds of thousands of dollars for you to start your podcast. But I digress. This is them talking about how they met, were engaged, never had any romantic interactions of any kind. Let's play it.
A wedding special. No, I'm not talking about William and Kate or Harry and Meghan. I'm talking about me. I am getting married this weekend. So we decided that we were going to make this a wedding special and introduce you guys to my fiance, future husband, George Farmer. So just to give everybody context, we got engaged after 2.5 weeks, maybe?
I think it was about that time. Yeah,
Right.
That's right, yeah.
Right, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, whirlwind romance, I believe.
I know.
Nothing romantic was said, you know, between that day and the day that we got engaged. Nothing romantic was said at all. You know, there was no overtures. We didn't go for dinner. Like nothing.
Send her flowers.
No, nothing. Yeah, nothing exactly. And so I was very clear about that because it was almost like getting to know oneself in some ways. It was kind of a very strange experience. You know, it was like I saw myself in her. And in doing so,
Pause. That's all we
and that
need.
sounds
Now,
sort of-
now look, who am I to say what is true love and what is not? All I'm saying is, for someone who says that Charlie and Erica's story is weird and off, I think we can all agree that Candace and George's love story is not what we would call conventional. If you agree with that, comment yes or no in the comment section. And again, I'm not saying their love is fabricated. I'm not saying any of those things. I'm just pointing out the fact the woman that calls everybody else's story weird and how Charlie's life was basically like the Truman Show, hinting at an arranged marriage and a planted marriage and all this other stuff. It's interesting that no one ever talks about Candace Owens' marriage. But why would they? Also, let's talk about the Daily Wire. Candace Owens, again, patterns emerge. Candace Owens has been a leftist her whole life. She continues to be a leftist her whole life. After the black conservative thing had kind of run its course, Candace Owens then decides she's going to go to the Daily Wire, and her original show was simply called Candace, or the Candace Owens Show, or the CO Show, or whatever. And many people probably don't remember this, but it was behind the paywall of Daily Wire. And the original premise for the show was it was Oprah. That's what it was. It was Oprah. It had a live audience. She would have bands come in and play. My good friends, Skillet, were one of those bands. I went on there to the show from time to time. But what they don't talk about is somewhere in between the 3.5 years or so that she worked with Daily Wire, and maybe it had to do with COVID, maybe it didn't, but somewhere they abandoned the live audience idea and all the overhead over it And then they just went to a normal podcast show, very much like she does today. Now, people will be like, oh, that's smart business. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Bull crap. People don't change shows that are working. So what that indicates is Candace Owens was not ROIing how much it cost to put on that show. And so Daily Wire makes a change. All right, you're just going to do a very straightforward one camera shot podcast type thing. They do the whole rebrand deal and all this kind of mess. But then Candace Owens decides to become even more anti-Semitic, and then it leads to her being fired from the Daily Wire. Patterns emerging again. Fired from Turning Point USA, fired from PragerU, fired from Daily Wire. Now, public reports may say, oh, it was an amicable split. She stepped down from Turning Point. It's an amicable split. She stepped down from PragerU. No, it wasn't. It never was, ever. It was always about bleeding the stone dry and then moving on to the next bigger, more monetarily valuable thing. You see, the other thing that strikes me is this as well. And here's the thing. Did she ever have Charlie Kirk on her Daily Wire show? I'm just curious. I don't remember if that was, and maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know, but everybody talks about how close they remained and all of this. But I don't remember her ever going on to her show when she was at the Daily Wire. He went on her show when she was at PragerU, but not Daily Wire. That's weird, right? For such close friends. But here's the thing that probably is going to end my career right now. And it's the thing that we're not supposed to say, and the part that allows you all to know that every single bit of this that Candace does is not because she believes in any of it. I know for a fact that the people that sell the ads for everyone, myself, other prominent people and things like that, they also sell for Candace Owens. It's not the sponsors per se, but the people that sell these individuals. It's almost like a war where the weapons are being sold to both sides to keep the war going, because there's millions of dollars on Candace Owens' side right now. So it doesn't matter how terrible she is. It doesn't matter how morally corrupt it may be or how terrible what she's doing is. There's millions of dollars in advertising for what Candace Owens is doing. So these agents and these things are saying, go, Candace, go. Keep going. Keep going deeper. Keep going bigger. And then you got people like me who are trying to fight back against it. And I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with that information. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the information that the powers that be, because there's only so many people that sell so many ads, they're fueling both sides. It's disgusting, really. It's terrible. But let's keep going with other things that we have with Candace Owens here. Because I don't just want to live in the past for forever. I want to talk about things that have gone on. So yesterday, Candace Owens made an accusation about Erica deleting all of Charlie's episodes and this and that. And then she gets a comment from what she believed was a Turning Point staffer. This guy's not a Turning Point staffer. He's actually doesn't even work for Turning Point. Let's see. No, take me down. This is where she says, not to be awkward, but they deleted all his episodes. And then Ryan Marty says this down at the bottom. He goes, hey, fun fact, DEI queen, I'm the one that exclusively runs the CK YouTube, and nothing was deleted after his death. Stop making up garbage accusations that you literally know nothing about. You've become worse than KJP and Contagia Brown Jackson. Now, what's really interesting about that is Candace Owens becomes unglued over this. The DEI remark. In fact, she even brings up Turning Point spokesperson Andrew Colvett into this conversation. She's so offended that someone would bring up DEI hire. Because now Candace Owens, like she did with Ben Shapiro a couple weeks ago, she is pulling the race card. In fact, the very leftist that's been a leftist her entire career, that made her entire career pretending to be a black conservative, that made a whole book called Blackout about removing this slavery victimhood mentality from Black America, that you are not a victim, racism is not a thing, people in America are not racist, all this. Now all of a sudden, oh my gosh, all these people are racist. She says maybe the spokesperson of Turning Point, Andrew Colvett, or the new CEO can help clarify why my race is being mentioned and why I am being likened to Contagia Brown, who I have not one thing in common with other than brown skin. Actually, you do have something far more in common with. You're a leftist. You're a leftist in disguise, much like she is a Supreme Court justice in disguise. You're a leftist, Candace. So do us all a favor and just come out as a leftist and save us all of the drama. You see, Candace Owens 2.0 is she's just revealing who she's been the entire time. You see, character assassinations, that's a tendency of the left. If you disagree with her or you challenge her, she makes unfounded claims that she's going to destroy you. And that's where the fear comes in of the cowards who refuse to speak up, even though they claim to be Charlie's best friends. But see, she's been letting you know her playbook from the very beginning. This is a clip from her Blexit days where she's saying that this is what the left does, but this is actually what Candace Owens does, using fear to control you. Play it.
When people know what you are afraid of, they can control you, okay? When people know what you fear, they can control you.
Play it one more time, just so everybody
When
hears
people know what you are afraid of, they can control you, okay? When people know what you fear, they can control you.
A lot of creators today are afraid of one thing and one thing only. They're afraid of losing viewers, and that intel loses money. And Candace knows this. Candace knows that right now she has the biggest microphone. Not in our party or on our side. She just has the biggest microphone. We no longer have our biggest microphone. Charlie was murdered, assassinated, taken from us. And here's my question to everyone who claims to have known Charlie, for all of you who watched Charlie that grieved his death. If it had been someone else who was murdered and Charlie was still alive, do you think he would let Candace Owens do this? The way that he's doing it, attacking a widow, attacking the children. If your answer is anything other than no, and I want you to put your comment in the comment section right now, you didn't know Charlie Kirk at all. There's no way. There's no way Charlie would have let this stand. There's no way Charlie would have let this go. But let's keep going. We've got another thing for Candace here. This one's an interesting one. And this shows the delusion of Candace. You can go ahead and pull it up, Todd. Shows the delusion of Candace. And this is Matthew Mayer saying, if your, quote, discernment produces slander, confusion, and chaos, it is not from above. God will not be mocked, and anyone who has brought into these lies needs to repent. It's that simple. Let's play it here where she says that her platform is God's
We are close,
platform.
by the way. I want to say I'm not even the one doing this investigation. This has been all of us. I just have the platform, and this platform is not mine. I genuinely know that this is God's platform. And whenever he's done and has used it, I'll be off of this. If this is the reason why I have the top podcast, to just get to the bottom of this because it's reveals so much to us, then so be it.
Pause.
We are
9 times out of 10, doing what God wants us to do doesn't lead to the top podcast. 9 times out of 10, doing what God wants us to do doesn't make us worldly successful. She points out in there again, maybe this is the reason why I have the top podcast to be able to do this. No, you have the top podcast because you engage in evil.
Slander.
You engage in the ways of the world. Again, let me bring you back to the Bible verse that was sent to me
Graham is cooking, y'all.
by a very, very famous preacher, a very big name preacher.
That's irrelevant.
James 3:14-16. But if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth.
Ooh, gosh, come on.
This is not the wisdom that comes down from above, but is earthly, unspiritual, and demonic. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. That is Candace Owens. That is Candace Owens. That is what she does. She
This video is brutal.
is a wrecker of all things. And even Tucker Carlson, who I've had many, many disagreements with here lately, even Tucker Carlson perhaps is starting to turn against Candace Owens. Tucker Carlson has this to say about internet sleuths. Here you go. Play it.
Of what happened to him. And will we ever?
Of course, I don't know the answer. I never weigh in on it because I love his widow, Erica, and I'm sad to see. I'm sad to see so much of what's happened ever since, and I love Charlie, and so it's emotional for me, and so, but I will just say the responsibility for investigating crime goes to the civil authorities. In this case, the federal and state authorities. And so the internet is not in charge of investigating crime.
Pause. That is what I mean. That is a truth from Tucker Carlson, but it also is the way that many people go about this.
Good catch. Come on.
They tiptoe around calling Candace Owens out by name because no one wants to deal with the wrath of Candace Owens. Real quick, before the end of this show, I got to tell you about our good friends over at Birch. Ladies and gentlemen, Birch Gold keeps this show going. We'll see if they keep the show going after this show. But we need every one of you to text the word Graham to 989898 right now. Help support what we do. Help keep us going. Support the sponsors that support us. They're going to send you a free 25-page information kit on how gold, silver, and precious metals can protect you and your family in an unstable economy and an unstable world. That's Graham, Graham, to 989898 right now. Back to the point. To everyone who is watching this,
it's a good turn.
All my friends that have been in this fight with me over the past decade, to everyone that has seen what Candace has been doing, to everyone who knows what she's doing to Erica is not only unbiblical, it is evil. To Charlie's children, bringing Charlie's children into her reasoning behind, Erica had something to do with Charlie being murdered because his 3-year-old daughter woke up at 2:45 in the morning, all of it. My hope and my prayer for all of you, because I'm sure that Candace and her Canaanites are going to clip this and they're going to tear me apart and skin me alive. And I am well aware that this video might, quote unquote, end my career. And like she said, this is God's platform. That's why I have the #1 show. Well, I don't have the #1 show, but this is God's platform. And if I lose it for telling the truth, then it's meant to be by the Lord that I was meant to lose it for telling the truth about this. Defending my friend, his widow, his children, his legacy against evil. We have a special call in the Bible to protect the widows and the orphans, and that's what I'm doing. So to those of you who still remain silent, to those of you who still remain quiet, my prayer is simply this. My prayer is that this is the battle cry that wakes all of you up. Candace Owens can destroy me. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She can't destroy all of us. If we all start punching back together, if we all start pushing back together, she cannot defeat all of us. But that's a decision that you have to make. That is a discernment in your own spirit that you have to make. And I'm calling on every single one of you now to search deep within yourselves. If you claim to love Charlie, you claim to believe in Jesus and the Holy Scriptures, you claim to have the discernment of the Holy Spirit, then you know that this is wrong. And you can no longer sit idly by on the sidelines. I equate it to no more than the lukewarm pastor who has grown a mega church, speaking the easy things to talk about to grow the audience as big as possible. And then he won't speak the actual truth because he is now a prisoner of the lukewarm church that he has created. Many of you are prisoners to the lukewarm audiences that you have created.
Come on. Grant is crushing it.
And then last but not least, I ask everyone who will see this, for all the clippings and all the out of text things and all the character assassinations that may come with this video. My hope, truly, when I say this, Candace, I am praying for you. And I'm praying for your soul because I am truly concerned about the state of it. I'm not God. I'm not Jesus. Who am I to judge? I'm no one. I make mistakes. My life is not perfect. I've done many things I'm not proud of. I almost lost my marriage 10, 12 years ago because of me. I've been very open and honest about that. It's in this very book. And my hope is that my testimony one day will make it to where other people do not make the same mistakes as me. No one is perfect, and I'm not saying that anyone ever will be. But what I'm saying is right now, Candace, I am praying for your soul. I am praying that you see the light. George, if you care about your wife at all.
Come on, where George at?
Where are you? You need to intervene, George. You need to intervene because something is wrong with Candace. Not just the fact that she's been a leftist her whole life and it's now just coming out. Something is wrong. And I think you know it. I've heard the rumors. I've heard the things. George, you've checked out. I've heard all this. Again, these are rumors. Who knows the truth? But you need to step in, George. It's time.
Wow.
And my last part for this is
Graham is cooking, y'all.
I hope that one day people will look back at Graham Allen. I will not be written in the history books. I will be a footnote of a footnote, and that's fine. But I can't just let evil go by without saying something. I can't just let attacks happen without saying something with people that I've known for decades. I refuse. And I will not get to heaven and the Lord look at me and say, what did you do with the platform I gave you? Why did you not defend Erica Kirk, the widow? Why did you not defend Charlie's children, the orphans? And that's one final thing I want to say to all of Charlie's friends that remain silent right now. One day, the Kirk children will grow up. And one day they're going to look back and go, why didn't you protect my father's legacy? Why didn't you protect my mother? And why didn't you protect us? Even if you lost, why didn't you do anything? And that I cannot live with. My own children, Dad, why didn't you defend Charlie's? Why didn't you defend Erica? Why didn't you defend those kids, Dad? My own children ask me those questions. Nope, not me. If you agree with all of this, I ask you to do me a favor. I ask you to hit the like button right now. I ask you to leave a comment in the comment section. I ask you to clip segments of this and post it everywhere, because that's how we start to damage Candace Owens. For those of you that are new watching the show, if you've enjoyed it, I ask you to hit the subscribe button right now. As many of you know, it is my distinct honor that we are the lead-in show to Dan Bongino, the GOAT, the greatest to ever do it. And so we're going to be raiding into Dan's show right now. And we're going to open the phone lines for a call-in here in our after show. If you enjoyed this episode, give us some American flags. And I hope
Sorry about that. Dan Bongino's show is about to begin. I'm leaving a link so that y'all can check it out. Yo, Graham Allen brought that noise this morning. Oh, I know fully now. I fully understand now why Cantifa was upset. I fully understand. I didn't understand it yesterday when they were upset on X. I'm like, what y'all fussing about? Why y'all mad about Graham? Graham can't call out Candace. Now I understand why. They knew what was going down. They knew it was going to go down. For sure. They knew it. Wow. That was crazy. Yes, you can view it on Rumble without an account. Just go to, I just dropped the link to it. You should be able to just pop in and share it. Share it on your X, share it on your Facebook page, that kind of stuff like that. Let's get it out there, man. He had 24,000 people watching. That's kind of crazy. That's what's up, yo. Shout out for sure. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know. I'm glad I tapped in for sure. That was amazing. So shout out to brother Graham Allen. That was a good show, man. That was a very good show. And I like the fact that he knew exactly what he was going to talk about. He knew exactly why he was going to talk about it. And he got at it. He got at it. He said, I'm about to get up in here and I'm about to tell you what I'm going to tell you. And then I'm going to get up out of here. That's my man. Shout out to him for sure. I want to say thank y'all to everybody. That's about 100. I'm sorry, about 270 that jumped in. Thank you so much for jumping in. This was a very impromptu live stream. I wanted to get in this morning. I'm testing out the lights. I'm testing out the new desk. I'm testing out the audio, make sure everything still works right. If you know me, you know I don't like having a lot of wires running around on my desk. There's a lot of wires running around on my desk. So I'm really stressed out about it. But anyway, I'm gonna end the show because Chief Executive Second Born wants me to take her driving. So we got to take her driving because she starts her driving class on next Monday. All right. So shout out to everybody who jumped into the best live chat. If you were watching if you checked out the community post earlier, I showed you this thing right here. I'm gonna tell you a story about it. I showed you this thing right here, right? And I asked you, was it a multi-tool? I think I said an umbrella, an eyeglass case, or like a pen case, right? All right, so fun fact. And I'll just end on this. This will be our story time with Whitaker. Stay off the sidewalks. Hey, yo, for real though, man, she's a really good driver, though. I'm really proud of her. She really is doing a great job. So the sidewalks are safe. Now, some of them lines on the street, sometimes they get a little bit, they be catching strays. They get a little stray tire every now and then, but she drives really well. I'm really proud of her. Okay. So, all right. Y'all know that I like picking on my wife, right? So the joke is, yeah, in the comments right now, what is this? What is this? What is it? Eyeglass case, a you know what? I could have made a community post. Jason, what are we doing this early in the morning? We can make a community post. I could have made a poll right here. What is it? All right. Hold on 1 second. What'd I say? A pen case and a mini toolkit. All right. All right. Y'all go ahead. I dropped the link in the chat. I mean, I dropped the community post. I dropped the poll in the chat. Go ahead and let me know what you think. And by the way, do y'all notice that your boy is standing up now? I got my ADHD desk in the building now. I can walk around now. I can raise it up. We're going to be causing all kinds of problems. I can get my camera is way too high. But, hey, it is what it is. So for the time being, so now I can move around a little bit. So if you're used to me sitting down in a chair, get over it. All right, let's see what y'all saying. So I'm gonna tell you this story and then I'm gonna get out of here because she's literally, I hear her walking around in the kitchen. Right? Gotcha. Okay. Some good answers. I appreciate it. Go ahead and answer. Tell me what you think this is. What is this thing? What is it? Now, let me know what you think. I got multi-tool. I got eyeglass case. Okay. Looking solid. Solid answers. You like the light? Okay. Thank you, Biblical Worldview. How are you, friend? Oh, I got a standing desk now. Absolutely. I'm over here wilding out. I'm wilding out. My email is dearwokec@gmail.com. Deb, I'll drop it in here real quick in the chat for you. Email management, if you don't mind. Thank you so much for the 5, by the way. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, so how many people have answered this? Okay. Now, I try to be transparent. I like being transparent, letting y'all know that, hey, I'll be messing up sometimes, right? All right. This is a bad story. I told her this morning, I'm going to laugh at her. Okay. All right. My wife is allergic to rain. Okay. If she's got natural hair, so if it gets wet, things go south, right? So she's allergic to rain. And it is a joke amongst myself, our family, and all our friends that Jason's wife always has an umbrella. She always has an umbrella. She's got an umbrella in her computer bag. She's got at one point she had 9 umbrellas in her car. She has one in her backpack. She has one in her office. She has one by the door. She has umbrellas for days, right? And I hate it because you get in her car, you're always stepping on umbrellas. They're always in the way. Like, dang, girl, this umbrella sticking me in my back. So I thought I was smart. Okay, I thought I was smart. And I've never been accused of being smart. So guess what? I'm going to prove to you that I'm not. So every now and then when I would take her car somewhere, go get it cleaned or whatever, I would take an umbrella out, put it in the garage. So in the garage in front of her car, there is a plethora of umbrellas, long golf umbrellas, little tiny purse umbrellas. There's a lot of them just right there. I'm not kidding you. It's probably 10 of them right there in the thing. So I'm thinking I'm doing the right thing, kind of cleaning it out, putting some in the trunk. Then, they kind of doing stuff. I got some in my daughter's car, all that kind of stuff, right? So I think I'm doing the right thing. I'm thinking I'm smart. Okay, you don't need 9 umbrellas. You can't even put 9 people in your car. Why do you have 9 umbrellas? So I'm thinking I'm doing the right thing. So yesterday, a friend of mine got married. He and his wife, they actually remarried. I'll tell you that story on another episode. So, right. Don't worry. She's got ponchos. She's got the, it's the little hat thing that you put on your head just to cover your head. She's got that. She's got them all. Trust me. If it repels rain, my wife has it. If they made an aerosol that you could just spray and get the rain away from you, she would have it. She would have it. She would probably go to other countries. If they had cooler umbrellas, she would probably go there and get their umbrellas. She's allergic to rain. I'm telling you, just like I'm allergic to cats, she's allergic to rain. I'm not being funny. Okay. So my friend, he and his wife got remarried yesterday. That's a testimony to God's goodness. And maybe I'll tell y'all that story on another episode, but let me come back. So me and my daughter, my wife went and got her hair done yesterday morning because she has some things to do at work this week. So she wanted her hair to be done before. So that makes sense to me. And Chief Executive Secondborn, we drive to the church ourselves and my wife pulls up. So while we're sitting in the car, it starts downpouring. I mean, cats and dogs and squirrels and everything. It was crazy rain, right? And I'm like, dang, Taylor, I don't got an umbrella in my car. I said, oh man, your mom just pulled up. She's 2 cars over. I said, I'm about to go run over there and get an umbrella out of your mom's car, right? So I run over there. It's raining. I'm getting wet. I said, babe, I got to get an umbrella. She said, open up the car door. I'm looking in the trunk. I'm looking in the back seat. I'm like, oh my God, I got rid of all of her umbrellas. And I'm soaked. I am soaking at this point, right? And she's like, look in the door card and get the umbrella out of there. I said, what are you talking about? She said, it's in the black thing that says Leadership Atlanta. I look at the thing, I pick it up, and I'm like, what are you talking about, babe? There's no umbrella in here. She said, Jason, pick up the thing that says Leadership Atlanta. It's an umbrella. I said, no, it's not. And I left it. I said, fine, we just got to run in, and ran into church. I get back out because, of course, it stops raining when we get out of church, right? And I'm like, and I'm walking over there to her, and because we were laughing about the fact that I made sure she had her umbrella that she took to church, in the church with her. And she's like, Jason, go get that Leadership Atlanta thing right there. I said, what are you talking about? She said, it's an umbrella. It's a freaking umbrella. It's an umbrella. I said, girl, it looks like my eyeglass case. This is an umbrella. It's an umbrella. It's an umbrella. I would not have been wet. Your boy wouldn't have been wet yesterday. Man, I can't stand you. How do you have, she has the coolest umbrellas, man. I'm like, where did you get this from? I'm like, how would I have known? And I was offended, right? I was mad. So I'm like, I can't believe this thing is an umbrella. So I went and asked people. I'm standing in the parking lot of the church like a crazy man, walking up to people, asking them what they think this is. I'm like, what do you think this is? What do you think this is? They're like, eyeglass case, pencil case. I said, what if it's not that? Maybe like a multi-tool case. I said, thank you. I said, baby, this don't make no sense. This is an umbrella. I'm like, what possessed somebody to make this? So needless to say, that's my story time with Jason. Next time, well, first of all, I want you to know I'm going to put all of those umbrellas back in my wife's car right now. Okay, so notice there will be no umbrellas in my garage. I'm gonna put them all in the car. Matter of fact, hold on. I'll show you. One time, I was washing her car, and we're way off task here, y'all. We're way off task. I'm gonna show you. Okay, one time I took her car to get it washed, and I hope you can see this. These are all the umbrellas I found in her car that day when I was washing her car. Maybe it's better over here. It's still kind of blurry. It looks better over here. Okay, these are all the umbrellas. These are big umbrellas too. These are not small umbrellas. I'm like, babe, why you got all these big old umbrellas in here? And this is the big one. So this is 5 umbrellas. Where did she get it? I don't know. I'm gonna find out and I'm gonna sell it. I don't know, man. But I was like, I can't believe it. I'm still kind of taken aback because it looks like an eyeglass case. This thing looks like an eyeglass case, but it's a whole bona fide umbrella. And I told her, I said, babe, I said, I cannot believe it. Because she kept telling me, she kept saying, Jason, it's in the door card. Get that thing right there, the black thing. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is not an umbrella. Oh, yeah. Oh, bruh, she's had as many as 9. I'm not even being funny. Because these are, now think about it. If she has this one, how many other little ones does she probably have? I bet she's one in the glove box. She's had one in the glove box before. Because we always, she's like the joke in our friend circle. They know Jason's wife gonna have an umbrella. Right? Because I pay for her hair, so I know how much it costs. I understand. I'm not mad at her. I respect her. She looks beautiful when she gets her hair done, so I got no problem with that. It's just 9 umbrellas out. You can't even you giving umbrellas out at the street. You giving them out. Like, come on, Noah. What are we doing? Okay, I'll take it. That's the word of the day. Don't doubt your wife, Jason. Don't doubt her. There you go. She's been more right than wrong, so I can't. No lie detector, Melinda. No lie detector. Yo, that thing had me in tears. Like, this is an eyeglass case. No, it's not. It's an umbrella. Oh, look, golf umbrellas, the big giant, because I have one big umbrella, which, by the way, I don't know why it wasn't in my car yesterday. Let's not talk about that. Because it was sitting in front of my car in the garage. I'm like, why was it not in my car? Anyway, I got one big golf umbrella. It's monstrous, man. You can put 9 people under that one umbrella. So that one right there, that one always gets, it always gets treated well. So if any little thing happens to it, we always take care of that one. But I have no idea why. So I'm going to get ready to get out of here. I'm going to take Chief Executive Second Born driving. But before we do that, we will make sure that all the little nooks and crannies, all the little seats and door cards have their proper amount of umbrellas. For the life of me, I never thought I would say that. Oh, I got some. I mean, I have one big one, and then I have a large one that's says Morehouse. But like, if anything, if she ever goes somewhere and they give out umbrellas or ponchos or the little, is it called a rain scarf or something? It's like a hat, like a rain hat that you put on, and it kind of ties up, looks like a scarf, but it's a rain hat. I mean, she's got those. I think it's called a rain bonnet. I mean, she has anything that repels rain. My wife is going to, and if you need it, it's incognito, an eyeglass case. Y'all, stay out of trouble, y'all. Thank you so much. I will absolutely. I don't think Candace is not streaming today. I'm still fiddling around here in the studio, but I think we got it looking decent enough. By the way, it's a rain bonnet. That's what it's called. It's a rain bonnet. Of course, a biblical worldview knows what it is. Yeah. She got rain scarves, rain bonnets. I'm telling you, man, if they made some kind of aerosol can that would get away with the rain, my wife would be wandering around with it like that. Trust me. That girl, I love that girl. Y'all, thank you so much. The goal, the plan, tomorrow we have Ami Kozak coming on to just talk about who Ami is and take questions. So that should be a fun conversation. I'm looking forward to having him come on tomorrow. We have Jared Hull coming on Thursday. I'll make sure those announcements are made. And thank y'all so much for everybody who's been supporting the channel. Thank you so much. Oh, by the way, I didn't say read through. Oh, thank you so much for the very kind too. Good work. Thank you so much. And what did Deb say here? I think I got it. So much. Thank you so much for excellent sharing it with multiple people. And that was a Graham Allen. By the way, check out what Graham Allen is doing. Let me make sure I drop his link again in the chat. I don't want to take away from that. I would like to email you if you're someone. Oh yeah. Okay. We did confirm it. I think you, hopefully you shot me an email. If you do, just shoot me an email. We get a chance, Deb. I got a question for you. But y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for listening to Storytime with Whit. And it's not going to rain today, so I think we're okay. Absolutely. Let's pray, and we're going to get ready to bug out of here, y'all. Thank you again for supporting the channel, for popping in on this kind of early morning live stream. Father, I thank you today that we had a great way to start the day with an excellent podcast to look at some deep matters and also some fun stories. But most importantly, Lord God, I thank you that your word was shared. Thank you for Graham and what you're doing on his channel. I do pray that you will bless him and his wife, as well as the production of his show, that his obedience to you and his desire to respect and honor Charlie Kirk and Erica and their children will be rewarded richly by your wonderful, perfect grace. But even above that, I pray that he looks forward to hearing, well done, my good and faithful servant, from you. Thank you so much for this time. Thank you for everybody who's in the best live chat. Thank you for those who will be jumping in and watching this on later. I pray that they will find this edifying and encouraging. In Jesus' name, I thank you and pray. Amen. Everybody have a fantastic rest of the day. By the way, I did the link to the Book of James series that we're doing at my church is in the playlist. If you want to check that out. Our associate pastor, Danny, preached on yesterday morning, as well as yesterday evening. They preached through the Old Testament in the evening and then the New Testament in the morning. So in flip-flops when they get finished. So anyway, I'll drop that link in the chat again. I thought I put it in there, but I may have not have done that. Thank y'all so much. Chief Executive Second Born is waiting for me, so I need to go. I'm going to drop this link and then get out of here before she karate chops me. And I don't want that. I do not want to get karate chopped by a 16-year-old. Actually, she's 15, so bang. There we go. Y'all have an awesome day. I'll see you all real soon. Grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the JWhit Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.